Welcome back to Stack Lessons. In this lesson we're tackling Analytics and ML/AI Services Overview, one of the trickier topics on the exam. Let's break it down. By the end of this video, you'll be able to read a business scenario and pick the single right Amazon Web Services Analytics or AI service almost on instinct. Here's the surprising part. Amazon Web Services has already pre-built a service for nearly every common data and AI task, so the real skill isn't building anything, it's matching the problem to the service that already solves it. In episode 22, we met two services you'll see again today. Redshift is the petabyte-scale columnar warehouse built for online analytical processing, complex queries and joins over enormous datasets. And QuickSight is the business intelligence layer that builds dashboards on top of sources like Redshift. We introduced both as part of the purpose-built database family. Today we widen the lens to the full analytics and AI toolkit. Let's pin down 5 terms you'll hear throughout this video. Amazon Athena is a serverless query service that runs standard SQL, structured query language, directly on data sitting in S3, and you pay only for the data each query scans. Amazon Web Services Glue is a serverless data integration service for extract, transform, load work, and its data catalog holds schemas and table definitions as shared metadata. Amazon Kinesis is the family of services for real-time streaming data, like logs, clickstreams, and telemetry. Amazon Textract is optical character recognition that pulls text, forms, and tables out of scanned documents. And Amazon SageMaker is the full platform for building and training your own custom models, when nothing pre-built will do. Picture a code gorillas client with 3 jobs on their list. They want to read thousands of scanned invoices, transcribe their customer support calls, and run a quick query against a logs bucket in S3. Here's the thing, Amazon Web Services already pre-built a service for every one of those, and none of them require training a model. So the entire skill is matching the business problem to the single right service. Get it right. And the answer is one API, Application Programming Interface, call away. Pick wrong. Say you reach for SageMaker to read those invoices, and you've burned weeks rebuilding something Amazon Web Services hands you out of the box. Hold on to this one idea, because it shapes every answer in this domain. Amazon Web Services pre-built these services so that you call an API instead of training a model from scratch. The vision, speech, and language services already learned their jobs from massive datasets you never have to touch. Your job is recognition, not construction, knowing which service was built for the task in front of you. Before you pick a service, pick a family. On the left, the analytics services work on your own data, querying it, transforming it, streaming it, and visualizing it. That's Athena, Redshift, EMR, Glue, Kinesis, QuickSight, and OpenSearch. On the right, the AI and machine learning services are pre-trained APIs for vision, speech, and language, recognition, poly, transcribe, translate, comprehend, Textract, Lex, and Kendra. And sitting apart from both, in orange, is SageMaker, the platform you reach for only when you need to build a custom model. Sorting a question into the left bucket or the right bucket is half the battle. Let's start with the analytics family, and Amazon Web Services describes Athena better than I could. The Amazon Athena documentation describes it, in paraphrase, as an interactive analytics service that makes it simple to analyze data in S3 using SQL, with no infrastructure to set up or manage, so you can start analyzing data immediately. Read that carefully, no infrastructure, query directly in S3, start immediately. Whenever a scenario says query S3 with SQL and no servers, Athena is your answer, and the pricing follows the model. You pay per query, based on the amount of data scanned. Here's the analogy that settles the most confused pair in this whole domain. Think of 2 ways to cook. Athena is the microwave, instant, no setup, Serverless SQL straight on S3, and you pay only for the data you scan. It's perfect for a quick, one-off, ad hoc query. Redshift is the full professional kitchen you keep staffed and running for steady restaurant service. It's a persistent data warehouse for complex online analytical joins and ongoing business intelligence reporting. You load your data in and query it repeatedly. So the Q is access pattern. A one-off investigation points to Athena, while systematic, repeated reporting points to Redshift. That leaves the third way to cook. The giant industrial food processing plant. That's EMR, Elastic MapReduce, Amazon Web Services' managed big data platform. It runs managed clusters of open-source frameworks like Apache Spark, Hadoop, Presto, and Hebase. The trade-off is that you configure and control the cluster, so you get more power but also more complexity. The Q is easy. When a scenario names Spark, Hadoop, or an existing big data workload to migrate, the answer is EMR. But notice the flip side. If all you need is plain ad hoc SQL on S3, EMR is overkill. Athena is simpler and cheaper there. So lock in the decision rule for the trio. When you need ad hoc, serverless querying directly over files in S3, that's Athena. A persistent warehouse for ongoing reporting means Redshift, and big data processing with Spark or Hadoop means EMR3 services, three distinct shapes of work, and the qualifier in the question almost always tells you which one. Now, before you can query data, something has to know what shape it's in. That's where Glue comes in. Amazon Web Services Glue is a serverless data integration service. It discovers, prepares, and combines data with no servers for you to run. At its heart is the Glue Data Catalog, a centralized metadata repository of schemas and table definitions. Here's the part people get wrong. The catalog stores metadata, not the data itself. Crawlers scan your data and auto-populate it, and that shared schema layer is what Athena, Redshift Spectrum, and EM are all read from, so they agree on what your tables look like. Here's a distinction worth pinning down, because it trips people up constantly. The catalog does not store your actual data, it only holds a persistent index of table definitions, schema structures, and connection settings. So if a question asks where your data is actually stored, the catalog is never the answer. The data lives in S3. The catalog just remembers what it looks like, so engines like Athena and Redshift Spectrum know how to read it. Two more analytics services round out the family, and they're easy to mix up. QuickSight is Amazon Web Services' serverless business intelligence service. It builds interactive dashboards and visualizations, powered by an in-memory engine called Spice for Speed. The key thing to remember is that QuickSight sits on top of sources like Athena, Redshift, or the Glue catalog. It's the visualization layer, not the data store. Its queues are dashboards, BI, and reports for business users. OpenSearch Service is a managed search and analytics engine. Its sweet spot is log analytics, application monitoring, observability, and full-text search. So when you see search, logs, or Kibana-style dashboards, think OpenSearch. Let's take a quick breath and lock in the analytics half. Athena is ad hoc SQL on S3. Serverless, pay per scan. Redshift is the persistent warehouse, and EMR runs your Spark and Hadoop clusters. Glue is serverless ETL plus the shared metadata catalog that ties them together. And on the output side, QuickSight builds dashboards while OpenSearch handles search and log analytics. There's one analytics piece left, and it's all about speed. That last piece is Kinesis, the family for data in motion. The cue here is simple. Whenever you see real-time, streaming, as data arrives, or clickstream in a question, your mind should jump straight to Kinesis. Everything we've covered so far works on data at rest in S3 or a warehouse. Kinesis is for data that's still flowing. Kinesis isn't one service, it's three, and each does a different job in the stream. First, Data Streams handles real-time ingestion, where you write your own custom consumer applications to process events as they land. Next, Data Analytics, now called Managed Service for Apache Flink, sits on top and runs Apache Flink directly on the real-time stream, computing results in real time. It supports Java, Python, Scala, and Flink SQL. And finally, Data Firehose handles delivery. It loads the stream into destinations like S3, Redshift, or OpenSearch. Ingest, process, deliver. Streams takes data in, Analytics does the math on it, and Firehose drops it where it needs to go. The pair people confuse most is Streams versus Firehose, so here's the analogy. Data Streams is a conveyor belt where you station your own workers to inspect each item in real time. You write the custom consumers, you manage the shards and scaling, and data is retained for 24 hours by default, with the option to extend it, so you can replay recent events. Choose it when you need control over the processing. Firehose, by contrast, is an automated delivery chute. It's fully managed and auto-scaling. It just dumps everything into the right bin. The primary destinations you'll see most often are S3, Redshift, and OpenSearch, but Firehose also delivers to Splunk, Snowflake, and various third-party endpoints. It stores nothing itself, though it can do light transformation in flight. The shorthand: Streams ingests with control, Firehose delivers hands-off. One quick heads up on names, because Amazon Web Services rebranded a couple of these. Kinesis Data Firehose is now branded Amazon Data Firehose, and Kinesis Data Analytics became Managed Service for Apache Flink. There's one important caveat here, though. The SQL applications variant of Data Analytics was discontinued on January 27, 2026, and it's no longer available. The current service runs Apache Flink only, supporting Java, Python, Scala, and Flink's embedded SQL. So if you see the old SQL on a stream capability described, recognize that it's a retired feature, not a production service. For the rebrands, just recognize both names. If you see Amazon Data Firehose and Kinesis Data Firehose, they're the same delivery service, and a rename shouldn't make you second-guess a correct answer. Now let's cross into the AI family. The easiest way to remember 8 services is to group them by the human sense they handle. Vision is Rekognition for images and video, and Textract for pulling text out of documents. Speech is Poly, which turns text into spoken audio, and Transcribe, which turns speech into text. Language is Translate, which converts between languages, and Comprehend, which figures out meaning and sentiment. And Conversation and Search is Lex for chatbots and Kendra for enterprise search. Group them by sense, and the keyword in any question lights up the right box. And just so it's on your radar, there's one more name coming up: Amazon Q, Amazon Web Services Generative AI Assistant, which we'll cover in a moment. 2 of these get paired on questions constantly because they sound related, so let's make the difference concrete. Textract is the scanner. It's optical character recognition. It pulls text, forms, and tables out of scanned PDFs, invoices, and images, and the output is simply the typed words from the page. Its Q is extract text from scanned documents. Comprehend is the analyst who then reads those words. It's natural language processing. It figures out what the text means, surfacing sentiment, entities, key phrases, language, and personally identifiable information. It can read a review and tell you the customer is angry. The clean split: Textract pulls text out, Comprehend works out what it means. Here's the part that trips people up. These services often aren't alternatives, they're sequential steps you chain together. Take that earlier client who wanted to analyze support calls. The pipeline starts with a recorded call as audio. Transcribe converts that speech into text. Then Comprehend reads the transcript and scores its sentiment. And finally, the system flags the angry callers for follow-up. The same pattern shows up with documents. Textract digitizes a scanned invoice, then Comprehend analyzes the words it pulled out. So if a question describes a flow from documents or audio into understanding, you're often chaining two services, not choosing between them. The last AI pair is Lex and Kendra, and they both touch natural language, which is why they get confused. Lex is the friendly receptionist who chats with you. It builds chatbots and conversational interfaces, running on the same deep learning that powers Alexa, and its job is managing the flow of a conversation. Its Q is chatbot, or voice and text bot. Kendra is the expert librarian. It's machine learning-powered intelligent enterprise search. Ask it a question and it finds the exact answer in your company's files, returning direct answers rather than just a list of links, complete with confidence scores and source citations. Its Q is search internal documents with natural language. Lex runs the conversation. Kendra retrieves the answer. Let's make that invoice client real for a second. Point Textract at a scanned PDF, and it hands back structured fields, the vendor name, the invoice date, the total, and the full table of line items, all pulled straight off the page with high confidence. No model training, no labeled dataset, no cluster to spin up, just one API call. And that's the whole point of this episode in miniature. The same job done in SageMaker would mean weeks of building, training, and tuning a custom model to do what Textract already does on day one. Pre-built AI services solve most standard tasks out of the box: optical character recognition, transcription, translation, and sentiment analysis. You call an API and you're done. SageMaker is for the remaining slice of cases where nothing pre-built fits, and you genuinely need to train a custom model. So when a scenario describes one of those common tasks, the intended answer is the managed AI service. Engineers often reach for SageMaker first out of habit, but the task being common is exactly the signal that something already solves it. Think of it like dinner. The pre-built AI services, Textract, Transcribe, Comprehend, and the rest, are a ready-made meal. You open the API and use it, no training, and it solves the standard, common tasks. That's almost always the intended answer. SageMaker is cooking from scratch, the full platform to build, train, tune, and deploy a custom model. It's more effort, more time, but more control, and it's the right call only when nothing pre-built fits. So the trigger words to watch for are build, train, or deploy your own model. Without those words, reach for the ready meal. One more name worth knowing is Amazon Q, the generative AI assistant I flagged earlier, and it comes in two flavors. Amazon Q Developer is the coding assistant. It lives in your development environment and the Amazon Web Services console, helping you write, explain, and fix code. Its Q is coding helper or developer assistant. Amazon Q Business is the workplace assistant. It makes generative AI securely accessible to everyone in your organization, drawing on your company's own content, data, and systems to give fast, relevant answers. Its Q is enterprise assistant on company data. The key distinction to remember: Amazon Q is a generative AI assistant. It is not a model training platform like SageMaker. Here's the cheat sheet to burn into memory, because most scenarios in this domain are solved by spotting one clue word. Query S3 with SQL and no infrastructure points to Athena. A data warehouse for BI reporting points to Redshift. A Spark or Hadoop big data job points to EMR Serverless ETL, or a data catalog points to Glue. Real-time or streaming data points to Kinesis. Extract text from scanned PDFs points to Textract. Sentiment from reviews points to Comprehend, and build or train a custom model, only then, points to SageMaker. Read the stem, find the clue word, and the service falls right out. 4 splits separate the hardest choices in this domain. First, for the machine learning question, a standard task, like reading text or detecting sentiment, points to a managed AI service, while a custom model points to SageMaker. Second, the analytics trio, ad hoc SQL on S3 is Athena, A persistent warehouse is Redshift, and Spark or Hadoop is EMR. Third, Textract pulls text out while Comprehend understands its meaning. They chain together in a pipeline, they don't compete. And fourth, Streams ingests with custom consumers you write, while Firehose is managed delivery into S3, Redshift, or OpenSearch. Get those 4 splits right and you've got the hardest part of this domain handled. So here's what to carry out of this video. Most of this domain comes down to pure keyword to service matching, so learning the clue words is the highest leverage thing you can do. On the analytics side, Athena is ad hoc SQL on S3, Redshift is the warehouse, EMR is Spark and Hadoop, Glue is ETL plus the catalog, Kinesis is streaming, QuickSight is BI, and OpenSearch is search and logs. On the AI side, Rekognition, Poly, Transcribe, Translate, Comprehend, Textract, Lex and Kendra each map to one modality, and SageMaker is only for custom models, while Amazon Q is a generative AI assistant, not a training platform. Now let's see how well that stuck with a quick 5-question quiz. Let's test what you've learned. A data engineer needs to run a one-off SQL query against last week's access logs, which already sit in an S3 bucket. They want results immediately, with no servers or clusters to provision. Which service should they use? Is it A, Amazon Redshift, B, Amazon Athena, C, Amazon EMR, or D, Amazon QuickSight? Pause here if you want more time. This one is B, Amazon Athena. The giveaways are one-off, query data already in S3, and no servers to provision. Athena is serverless SQL straight on S3, build per query. Redshift is a persistent warehouse you'd have to load data into. EMR would mean spinning up a cluster, and QuickSight only visualizes. It doesn't query raw logs. Question 2. A company has thousands of scanned PDF invoices and wants to automatically pull out vendor names, totals, and line item tables. Which Amazon Web Services service is the best fit? Is it A, Amazon Textract, B, Amazon Comprehend, C, Amazon SageMaker, or D, Amazon Rekognition? Lock in your answer before I give it away. The right call here is A, Amazon Textract. The clue is extract text and tables from scanned documents. That's optical character recognition, Textract's exact job. Comprehend understands meaning in text but doesn't extract it from a document. Rekognition is for image and video analysis, not document text and forms. And SageMaker would mean building a custom model to do what Textract already does out of the box. Question 3. A website streams clickstream events, and the team wants to load that data into Amazon OpenSearch service with no code and no servers to manage. Which Kinesis option fits? Is it A, Kinesis Data Streams, B, Kinesis Data Analytics, also called Managed Service for Apache Flink, C, Amazon Data Firehose, or D, Amazon Comprehend? Think about which constraint matters most here. It has to be C, Amazon Data Firehose, and here's why. The phrase load into a destination with no code and no servers is Firehose's signature. It's the managed delivery chute into S3, Redshift, or OpenSearch. Data streams would require you to write custom consumers and manage shards. Data analytics runs SQL on the stream rather than delivering it, and Comprehend isn't a streaming service at all. Question 4. A retailer wants to analyze the sentiment of thousands of written product reviews to flag unhappy customers. The task is standard text analysis. Which service should they choose? Is it A, Amazon SageMaker, B, Amazon Translate, C, Amazon Textract, or D, Amazon Comprehend? Got your pick? Let's see. If you said D, Amazon Comprehend, well done. Sentiment from text is exactly what comprehends natural language processing does. Watch out for the SageMaker trap in option A. This is a standard, pre-built task, so reaching for the training platform would waste weeks. Translate just converts between languages, and Textract extracts text from documents rather than interpreting its meaning. Last question. An analytics team needs a persistent data warehouse to run complex joins and recurring business intelligence reports over years of structured sales history. Which service is the best fit? Is it A, Amazon Athena, B, Amazon Redshift, C, Amazon Web Services Glue, or D, Amazon Open Search Service? Run the decision rule from earlier before you answer. The answer is B, Amazon Redshift. The queues a persistent warehouse, complex joins, and recurring reporting over large structured data. That's the staffed kitchen workload, online analytical processing. Athena is the microwave, better for ad hoc one-off queries, not systematic recurring reports. Glue is for ETL and the metadata catalog, and OpenSearch is for search and log analytics, not warehouse-style BI. That's it for Analytics and ML/AI Services Overview. Drop a like if this clarified things. Subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the Amazon Web Services, the Amazon Web Services Certified Cloud Practitioner Exam Mastery, and I'll catch you in the next video.